The pandemic has been a huge hit to our economy, and thousands of businesses have lost customers. For others, though, there is a silver lining. In Canada, the vast majority of businesses are small and medium-sized. They employ most of the workers in the private sector. Small and medium-sized businesses contribute 55% of Canada's GDP. The pandemic ground almost everything to a halt. Just look at the number of jobs lost in early 2020, for example. Well, in May, some signs of hope. The economy added 290,000 new jobs. Some business owners are actually thriving because of this pandemic, and they can barely keep up with demand. Mike Couteur has the stories of some of them.
They are the literal and figurative signs of the times. Everywhere you go these days, you're directed where to stand or how to move around a business by taped arrows and decals. And interaction with sales staff is kind of face-to-face, if you don't count that plexiglass barrier. The virus is unpredictable. So too are the spin-off industries that are helping us cope with COVID-19.
10 weeks ago, 12 weeks ago, it was pandemonium.
The action has leveled off somewhat at this glass manufacturer in Ottawa, but at the height of the pandemic, the demand for plexiglass was way beyond anything Tom Zubkov had seen after 40 years in the business.
There has never, ever been anything like this where all of a sudden, at the snap of fingers, this had to happen immediately. There was no gradual climbing of a hill. There was no production thoughts. There was nothing. It just happened immediately, and it had to happen now.
So they started making 3 sizes that could stand alone and be a barrier to protect essential workers. Business is still brisk. It's just as busy at Miller McConnell Signs, but that wasn't the case at the beginning of the pandemic. When the Ottawa Marathon and other major events were canceled, so too were the contracts to supply all those signs. They had the acrylic in-house, so they quickly shifted to making face shields.
It was definitely, we wanted to help out the community because we were in a position to provide this much needed PPE. But a part of it was also trying to keep as many people employed as possible.
They're also donating hundreds to community organizations and other communities in the far north. Now, weeks ago, when provinces started to ease restrictions, the core business bounced back. The changing times meant a different type of sign was now needed. You've probably already seen those floor decals in nearly every store or business you've been to lately, telling people where to stand and helping them to keep a safe physical distance. They've even pitched these kid-friendly concepts to the City of Ottawa for municipal facilities.
As daycares start opening up and camps and all that sort of stuff, there's going to be fun colors with pictures of animals, numbers, go sit on this butterfly or whatnot.
That kind of forward thinking is helping some businesses boom while others go bust during the COVID-19 crisis. As the Canadian economy reopens, businesses are reorienting. It's believed that will also help us get through the recovery, even as the threat of the coronavirus remains.
Small businesses are guided largely by what consumers want. And right now, one of the chief things that consumers want is a safer experience when they're out there doing their daily errands and their important shopping.
That could be why we're being bombarded on social media by ads for gadgets that'll keep us safe from COVID-19, from the phone sanitizer to the endless variety of anti-germ keys. Their effectiveness remains unproven, but personal protective equipment is in demand. And there is increasing pressure to localize supply chains so Canada isn't forced to rely on other countries.
We have the technology, we have the ingenuity, we have the engineering might, the manufacturing might. There's nothing we can't build right here in Ontario.
Enter Alex Dugal, who's going all in on medical masks.
Not going to lie, it's probably one of the scariest business ideas I've ever come up with.
Scary because it cost $500,000 up front. He imported the mask-making machine from China, so people in this country will stop buying masks from that country.
Our hope is that Canadians and governments and businesses will support local, and if our material and our finished product is a comparable price to what they were paying before, that they'll consider swapping over to a Canadian company to buy that product.
His idea is to move beyond basic blue into more colors and even customizable for corporate logos. He's hoping to roll out these for Canada Day. Dugal also believes the uncertainty around COVID-19 means masks will be a mainstay.
Eventually, when everyone gets back to going to big group events, more than likely they're going to need a face covering. So our thought is that we've got that group of buyers, but also at the end of the day, healthcare needs these year-round.